Hello, darlings. Happy Sunday. Yeah, this is how one looks after 3 nights of not sleeping or sleeping about 2 hours every night. Um, but it came to me. I just wanted to share something quite special, actually. I was thinking on the way back home how we recharge. We are electromagnets, we are electric circuits that need recharging. It was like, think of it as a salt battery, really. Um, there's tons of studies done on this, especially, for those who've done like Myers Briggs questionnaires. Let's do a little test. Think about how you recharge. Do people recharge you or do people drain you? Some of you will still be confused, and that's okay because I used to be confused too. Naturally, extroverts, they get recharged. The easiest thing to actually how to distinguish who is an extrovert or introvert is to ask them how they replenish their energy. If they say they withdraw, spend time alone with a good book, listening to music, going for a walk, and there's my dog not letting me. Come here, come here, come here, Lily, come. Lily Coco. um, she doesn't let me be alone. Come on, lie down, lie down. That's it. Good girl. Good girl. She wants to lie on top of me. Oh, you are beautiful, aren't you? I have to show you. This is so unexpected. I have to show you. There she is. Hello. Look, Lily. Hey, there she is. Oh, beautiful girl. Yes, she recharges lying on top of me. She's quite heavy. She's a little mix of Belgian Malinois and an ordinary Serbian dog. She's the most beautiful dog in the world. She reads me like an open book. She knows when I need her. Anyway, extroverts will be recharged by people, so they're more likely to go all high energy on their holidays, where introverts will be withdrawing and doing things on their own. But if you're like me, kind of in the middle, I've done Myers Briggs questionnaire about 5 times in my life, like since I was 18. And that's one thing that's never changed. So when the people look at me, and obviously I give you glimpses into my life on social media, I am quite a private person. And what's really interesting, people who don't know me at all jump into conclusions thinking that they've seen the character I play and they think they know me. And I find it so fun. And I find it so fun that I actually continue. I know, beautiful girl, that I continue to play that character because I even add to their confusion. And the point I'm trying to make, I'm actually not an extrovert. I am right in the middle. I could be an introvert, an extrovert. And when I do the test, it's so inconclusive. And it's the only one on Myers Briggs. Everything else, I am very much, kind of quite well defined, into one area or the other. But extroversion, introversion, I'm in the middle. And it took me decades to understand this about myself. And it's actually quite interesting that I can recharge spending time with people, and I can recharge reading a book, listening to music. I can recharge dancing. I don't need other people to be around me. I can recharge just through activity. And it actually depends what I'm tired of. So a holiday that I will pick, it has to be a mix where it allows me to spend time with people and it allows me to be alone. And I'm very protective of my own space. Only Lily Coco, my dog, is allowed to intrude on my space because she knows the rules. You just match my energy and we'll get on. And she's very private too, so I don't want to show her off too much. So I think all those people who believe that they're one thing or another, it's actually, and I used to be like that, it's worth just playing the game of opposites. What if that is complete bollocks? What if you just turn it upside down? Do the opposite, just try it for fun. What if you're not ADHD? What if it is your superpower that allows you to deal with the very busy, very chaotic environment around you? I get ADHD'd when I'm under stress because it's my coping strategy. Off she goes. She's now going to be chasing neighbours' dogs or something. So what if what you constantly say to yourself that is you, what if it is not? And then your environment is enforcing it further. What if it is your coping strategy? Just saying, you know. What if it's not a fixed condition? What if it's a temporary thing? It's kind of like inflammation, you know. What if problems with your throat, with your voice, with your chest, or when you lose your voice, maybe that's the moment when something higher than you is actually sending a message that your voice deserves to be heard. What if you feel the pain in your chest, around your heart area, or inside your gut? You know, you just have this kind of intuition. The center of intuition is the stomach. Rather than suppressing it because it's under pain, inflammation, whatever, what if your body is naturally telling you that that is the bit that you need to replenish? And that may be the groundbreaking. The key to your problems may lie in the cave that you're afraid to enter. Just something that came to me. And finally, somebody said the other day, and it made me think very deeply about this. I am a scientist, so it's actually been quite difficult for me to be spiritual. I was almost denying it to myself. I am quite spiritual, more so than I will admit, because it's actually seen uncool, you know. There's all kinds of judgments, but this person completely freed me. They said, what is the first sound that a living thing, be it an animal or a human being, makes? And I immediately thought, well, a cry, because, you know, I've given birth 3 times, so yeah, babies do cry, you know. But that's actually, no, but what sound do they make without external influence? And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Because the doctor or midwife kind of gives them a little smack on the bottom of back to get them breathing. The first sound they make is the breathing sound. And you know that word in another language that doesn't have any vowels whatsoever. Vowels? I do speak English. It's actually the name of God. Isn't that fascinating? And also on our deathbed, we know that that's not the end. It's just transitioning into something else. But the end of our physical life in this 3D form, we will also say God's name. That will be our final breath that we take. Make of it what you will. But maybe whatever's happening with you, however you have to recharge, it goes without saying. I mean, you are H2O mostly, water. combo of hydrogen and oxygen. So do help yourself to replenish those elements. And iron, iron. If you're a woman, you have about 3 grams of iron in your body, man, 4 grams. You could almost say, oh, trace, insignificant. But if you didn't have iron in your body, you wouldn't be electromagnetic being. You wouldn't radiate energy and you'd be dead. But so it's important to replenish. But maybe spiritualism is actually, and those religious people and stuff, maybe we don't need to go to places of worship. Maybe God truly is within us. Maybe being aligned to that vision of godly, divine state is actually aiming to be the best that you can be, the higher self. Maybe it's actually so much simpler than we kind of make it look. Maybe taking the deep breath and doing it repeatedly is the best recharge that we can actually do. And places of worship. I mean, one of the most common places of worship, I mean, worshipping money, is going to work. I mean, we spend most of our awake hours being at work, worshipping money, unless you volunteer. And I apologize to those people, unless you do things for free, because it's your soul's purpose. But everybody else, if you're asking to be paid, you're worshipping money. Who are you to laugh at people who worship other gods? I mean, like some of us worship Gucci or Prada. Or Karl Lagerfeld. I mean, I personally love his stuff. Bless. Anyway, recharge. Think about all the elements. Over 20 we carry in our bodies. And think about what you need to replenish. Is it the time alone? Is it the time with your dog? Somebody who reads you like an open book and accepts you just as you are and is happy to see you just as you are, that you don't have to play some kind of character. Hence, totally unbrushed hair, totally chilled, low lighting, and I'm going to go and sleep. I'm going to spend my Sunday afternoon switching all this off. Switch both of my phones off. And then I'm going to take my dog for a walk. And I'm going to get lots of tree energy. I'm probably going to take my shoes off and ground myself further walking on the grass. It might be wet, it might be dirty. I don't mind. I'll probably even do the dog, there's this kind of like assault course for dogs in the park nearby. And my dog is like, she looks like that, like, not doing that. So I go and I climb. It looks so funny. And then all the other dogs try and get me off, and then they run on it. Then it's safe. I love dog playful energy. And I love that when they tilt their head, the head tilt. It's like, seriously? I need that kind of energy right now. But anyway, sending all my dear people lots of love. And I know some were actually worried about me making this trip. And I know that it was very, very tough for lots and lots of different reasons. And and I'm okay. Thank you so much for your wonderful messages and wonderful words of encouragement, and to all my performers who are out there acting in their character, who are giving it all, be it singers, be it dancers, be it public speakers, poets, writers, actors, presenters, coaches, nurses, doctors, lawyers, teachers, members of different boards of companies, all of you who are acting in your character, and then you go back home and you act in character as a parent, as a kahu. Kahu, you know, they in Hawaii they have this wonderful expression, the keeper of animal spirit, kahu. It's not dog owner. You don't own a dog. You're taking care of its soul. Well, take care of your own. I see you guys. I know how exhausting it can be when you are acting a certain way, when you're depleted, your energy levels are low, and you still have to give. You have that obligation to your soul's purpose, and you keep going. I am electrical engineer. I understand the currents and voltages that go on, and I know how tough it is to give when that reservoir is nearly empty, how much effort it is to act happy and successful and full, resourceful, because that's expected of you, when in fact you feel so depleted yourself. Look after yourself, recharge, because you can't give from an empty reservoir. Many of us have tried it and failed miserably and suffered from exhaustion, not recognizing that we're, you know, even though we are superhumans, not that superhuman. But you see it, you feel it, you know when somebody's going over their resourcefulness limit. You see it in their act. And it's almost like crime against basic human rights. Take the time out. Recharge. What are we reading today? I'm reading a book. I could only find it in French. Did you know that a Japanese scientist won a prize? He did a research about when you direct different energies towards water. And the water that received negativity, negative words, and the one that received a love and care and positive vibes, the shapes so this one would be a positive one. You see, it's quite symmetrical. And this one a bit more confusing and ill-defined if they received negativity. But it's the same thing with you, with your own energy. If you are abusing yourself, I'm going to read this and then fall asleep. Final thought is, it is against human rights if you recognize yourself that you need replenishing, but because there are demands on you, there are expectations, you don't take time out to recharge on exactly those elements that you need, that you require. You need to install more fuses in your body. Anyway, I know some of you will be surprised by this deep revelations because most people see me as this adrenaline junkie person who's running around doing too much. But that's not me. I know some of you are still processing the fact that I'm not an extreme extrovert. It's just my coping strategy. And most of the time, because I work in a high impact team in business transformation, it's the way I deal with various crisis situations. I get invited when fires are burning and I have to extinguish them. But what helps me do my job well is complete game of opposites. When I am alone, I am very selfish. I close myself in with a good book. And that's how I can survive you guys. I see you. I hear you. I appreciate you. Go and be brilliant.